Are you an average learner, an average student, and you're looking for the best system of passing a test and an exam? Then I will give you my own personal system I use to ace every test and exam. I used to call it my unique weapon. I did it specially because I was an average student that wanted to graduate with a distinction, and I did that. I graduated with 4.81 CGPA in school. I was the best graduate student from my pharmacy school, and I want to share with you my system of passing an exam, because I believe for you to truly ace an exam, you need a strategy. You cannot win a war without going with a strategy. It is true that for you to pass an exam, you have to read, right? But the truth is, just reading alone will not give you your desired grade. So what I usually do when I was in school was that I developed a technique called the BUSM technique, BUSM technique. The technique I use to ace every test and exam. What does it mean? B means broad, U understanding, S selective, M memorization. So it's broad understanding, selective memorization. What that simply means is that I have a broad understanding of the whole topic, of the whole course. I know what every topic is talking about. I understand all the concepts, but I know I have a poor recall. So what I do is that I selectively memorize some specific places I think will come out in the test and during the exam. And I want to share with you the way I do that. So the first concept you should know is called the circadian rhythm. There's an inner clock in your body that controls your physiology, your body function, what you do when you sleep, when you are active, when you are moody. You understand? And this circadian rhythm is formed by your habit, by your routine, by your behavior, what you do every single day. Do you understand? So the moment it is night, your circadian rhythm will turn on your sleep mode. Do you understand? So you have to go and sleep. But what most students don't know is that the circadian rhythm also determines your time of productivity. So when I went to pharmacy school, I did not have any idea when my best time is of reading. Some people say my best time is morning, is afternoon, but as a Nigerian, you don't have a choice. The only time you have to read is evening hours or at night. So you might be free from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. So you choose which time is good for you. So since I don't know my productive time, I chose 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. and I read every single day. No, it's not every single day. Most of the days while I was in school, I read 7 to 10 p.m. I don't like reading, so I don't read every day. So this is what happens. So when it is time for me to read, my brain automatically switch on the attention mode. You understand? So I become more active to learn. So I go to class and I read and I understand. So throughout the semester, what usually happens is that I spend most of my time just understanding the concept. When it is time for a test or an exam, then I do the buzzing technique where I understand it broadly, but I selectively memorize. You understand? I did a video on how to predict your exam question. It was a strategy I used that worked over 90% of the time. Do you understand? So please watch that video. I will leave the link below, or you just enter my page, you see the video there. So let's continue. So what I do most of the time is this. So I read throughout the semester to understand the concept of what they are trying. I do some research, just ChatGPT, just browse it and you see the answer there. So the next thing I did is that when it comes to test and exam, I know one thing for sure, that if I have a 20-page handout to read for a test, number one, I'm sure not everything in that handout will come out. If I am dealing with theory, something I have to write a lot of notes, I'm pretty sure only about 30% of the question will come out from the handout. Only 30% of the handout, highest maximum, only 30% of questions will come from the handout. I'm so sure of that. Do you understand? But when it is objective, there's a way I read for objective. I just go into my understanding. I just do recall. We ask questions. I just find my friends. I have like 4 friends. I have like 5 friends that we usually move together. What we do is, so when I know what will come out in this exam, or I mean in this test, is OBJ or multi-choice questions. what we do is we just ask ourselves questions. When we are done reading, we have basic understanding, we begin to ask ourselves questions about terms, definition, you understand? And then that's how we prepare for tests that are OBJ or MCQ. Do you understand? But when it is theory, this is what we do. I read and I get basic understanding. And then I ask myself this question. Number one, I said, if I was given an opportunity to read just 5 portions in this handout, just 5 places in this handout, where will I read? If I am the lecturer, considering how I behave, where will I set question from? If they ask me to choose 5 questions that might come out, where will I choose? Amazing thing with this question is immediately things will begin to pop up in your head. Pa, pa, pa. So you'll be able to tell which question will come out even before you write the exam. Do you understand? And this strategy has been working for me, over 90% success rate. Somebody will say, I was lucky. Yes, of course, I'm lucky. I know how luck works, and I will explain it. Let's finish this one, then I will explain how luck actually works. So, what I do is this. So, when I choose those 5 questions, I will read every other part of the handout. I will get the basic understanding of the concept they are trying to say. You understand? But those 5 places, those 5 portions, I will memorize it very well in such a way that if anything comes out, I will get it. Don't forget, jack of all trade, master of none. So it's better I hit one question very well and make sure I get the full mark than answering half in the other ones. Do you understand? I did this in a 100 level. I did not know there was even one handout, so I concentrated on the 4 handouts. I memorized specific places, and guess what? It came out. I did it in 100 level. Same thing always happened. You understand? So if you can successfully predict this part of the questions that will come out, you wonderfully do well. Do you understand? So what I do is that I read broadly, right? And then I selectively memorize. One of my favorite method of memorizing is storytelling technique and analogy. Understand? And then I try to exaggerate and visualize a lot of parts of that note. Do you get? Now there's something that usually happens. Do you know, if I have a concept that is hard for me to memorize or I can't recall it, I just ask myself a question that, what if the lecturer just came to class and said, hello guys, please read this portion of this verse. I will ask you the mechanism of action of diclofenac. Do you understand? Please know it. And that portion of the book, of the handout, is hard for me to memorize. I've been trying. The moment the teacher or the lecturer says that, give me 2 minutes, that thing will stay in my head. Do you understand? So I've noticed that the reason why it was hard for me to memorize was because I was not sure whether it would come out or not. So I always ask myself this question: what if this place come out? Just assume the lecturer said this part will come out. How will you memorize it? Imagine you fail, knowing fully well that this question will come out. How will you feel about yourself? And guess what? That energy will come into me for me to memorize it successfully. Do you understand? So I'm so sure that selective memorization works. I know you asked me a question that, what if where I predict doesn't work? It happens. But does that mean I failed the question? No, I just told you. I read broadly. I can still write something about that particular thing they ask. It's just that I will not write it to the full potential that I could. You understand? Because it was not my focus. Do you understand? So this technique I'm showing you works over 90% of the time. Well, it's okay to miss it about 10% of the time as long as you know what you are doing. Do you understand? So please try it. And then the next thing is that, what if it's just luck? What if it's just luck? You just predict the question with luck. Listen to me. Luck is not random. Luck can be explained. Let me explain luck to you. Luck simply means where opportunity meets preparation. That is luck. If you prepare adequately, you will be lucky every time, because where you read will always come out in your exam. Do you understand? So how do you use this mystery of luck to your advantage? This is what you do. Especially in tests, if you know the handout is not more than 20 page or 50 page, listen to me. One thing is sure, I am so sure that the questions will come from this handout. So what am I going to do? I will guess which question will come out. So my reading strategy is different. This is how I will read. I will set 20 questions from that 20 handout, from that 20 page handout, I mean. So every page we have one question. Did you see what happened? I remove luck out of the equation. There is no way that over 5 questions that will come out during the test, my 20 question is not part of those 5 questions. Do you understand? That's how log actually works. The truth is, if you set only 2 questions from a 20-page handout, you might miss it. You know why? Because you have over 33% chance of getting it. If you set only 1 question, I don't know that you get it too. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So the more question you set and answer in a 20-page handout, what usually happens is you remove every uncertainty that you might meet. That is the simplest trick. So you want to solve as much problems and as much question, you want to answer as much question as possible. You know why? Because you are removing uncertainty out of the equation. There is no way the questions will not come from that handout. So that's the best method I use. It's called the buzzing technique to ace every test and exam. I will go back again. I will tell you what I do. I set a specific time where I read, right? When it is test, what do? I will practice recall. We ask question, me and my friends. But when it has to do with theory, I understand it broadly, right? And then I selectively memorize specific parts. What if it doesn't work? I told you, the part that will not work, I will cancel it with log. How? I will predict the question as much as possible. I will practice questions, all the possible questions that can come out in that handout. I will practice all. It's a better way of reading. And guess what? And that is how you will ace every test and exam. My name is Alfred Akpesi, and I'm a learning coach. I make learning easy. If this video really helped you, please like, subscribe, hit the notification button to get more content like this. Thank you.